The rain had been falling all evening, slow and steady, turning the city into a blur of reflections and long, silver streaks crawling down the windows. I stood by the living room glass, arms crossed, heart heavy, watching the lights outside shimmer through the curtain of water. She was behind me, silent at first, until she finally spoke. "You don't have to wait anymore." Her voice was soft, almost too calm, the kind of calm that only comes when someone has already made up their mind long before the words ever leave their mouth. She wasn't emotional. There was no anger, no sadness, just a strange kind of peace that made it worse. Like she had already left me long before tonight. I didn't say anything. I just stared out at the rain, my eyes following the trembling glow of headlights passing on the wet pavement. I noticed how she gripped the umbrella by the door a little tighter. The silence between us had been building for weeks, months, maybe. Dinner skipped. Conversations clipped short. Apologies that felt more like formalities. I'd felt the distance growing like a wall between us. But hearing those words made it real. She walked out into the storm without hesitation. No dramatic pause. No final glance. The door clicked shut behind her, and just like that, she was gone. The apartment felt different immediately, like the air had changed. It wasn't just quiet, it was hollow. I sank onto the edge of the couch, my hands resting limply in my lap, and let the stillness settle in. My mind started rewinding everything that had led us here. Her phone lighting up late at night. The sudden need for space. The cold way she'd started speaking to me. I kept convincing myself it was just a rough patch, that she was tired, overworked. I wanted to believe we were just slipping, not falling apart. But that night, the excuses finally stopped working. I got up and wandered into the kitchen, needing something to anchor me. I grabbed a beer from the fridge, popped it open, and leaned against the counter, trying to breathe. That's when I saw it. Her laptop, left open on the dining table, screen still glowing softly in the dim light. I hesitated. I don't like snooping, but something inside me pushed me forward. The screen was already unlocked. Her email was open. I didn't have to dig. The latest message was from someone named Jay. I clicked, and everything shifted. It wasn't just one message. It was a thread. Flirtatious words. Late-night exchanges. Hotel confirmations with both their names. Selfies taken in rooms I didn't recognize. Laughter in their texts that used to belong to us. The kind of intimacy you don't fake. She hadn't just drifted away. She had chosen someone else. Lied with intention. Covered her tracks just enough to make me feel crazy for doubting her. I didn't slam the laptop shut. I closed it slowly, like my hands were moving underwater. Not out of calm, but because I was too stunned to feel anything yet. My whole body was tense, but my mind had never been clearer. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just moved. I went to the bedroom and pulled out an old duffel bag. Grabbed only what I needed. A few clothes. My documents. Wallet. Toothbrush. I didn't have a plan. I just knew I couldn't stay. I wasn't packing. I was leaving. Before I walked out, I tore a scrap of paper from an old notebook and scrawled a single line in pen. Don't wait for me either. I left it on the coffee table, right where she'd see it. Then I walked out into the rain, let it wash over me as I tossed the bag into the car and pulled away from the curb. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I had to keep driving. Each mile felt like peeling off another layer of betrayal. The city faded behind me, and eventually I found a cheap motel off the highway. Paid cash. Checked in under my first name. When I dropped onto the bed, the ceiling above me felt like the only solid thing in the world. I laid there, staring at it for hours, replaying everything. The way she used to laugh at my dumb jokes. How we'd make pancakes at 1 a.m. The time she cried watching a movie and wouldn't admit it. It all came back in flashes. Except now, every memory felt distant, almost fake. Like I'd been watching a love story that never belonged to me in the first place. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Her name lit up the screen over and over again. Missed calls, voicemails, texts that started frantic and grew softer. Where are you? Please come back. I'm sorry. We need to talk. But I had nothing left to say. No explanation she could give would make what I saw go away. The trust wasn't just broken. It had been destroyed with intent. She didn't slip. She leapt, and she thought I wouldn't notice. I ignored every message. I didn't even open them. I moved into a small place a friend helped me find, just a studio with a bed and a window. But it was enough. I started over in the simplest way, one small step at a time. Grocery runs, quiet walks, nights alone but not lonely. She kept reaching out for a while. More texts, more excuses dressed up as apologies. But I never replied, not because I was trying to punish her, but because I had finally found something stronger than heartbreak. Peace. Some friends asked what happened. I kept my answer short. It's over. I didn't trash her name. I didn't tell them about the emails or the hotels. I didn't need to humiliate her. I wasn't carrying that weight anymore. Her conscience, if she had one, could do that work for me. And if it didn't, then that was her lesson to learn. Eventually, her messages stopped. The silence returned. But this time it didn't feel cold. It felt safe. I got into a rhythm again. I smiled, not because I had to, but because I felt like it. I started seeing myself in the mirror again, not as the man who was left, but as the man who chose to walk away, who knew when to stop waiting. That rainy night didn't just mark the end of our story. It marked the beginning of mine, and in a strange, unexpected way, I'm grateful for it. Because when she said, "You don't have to wait anymore," I finally heard her. And I didn't wait. I left. And that choice, that saved me.